Well, hello. Hello, Jeff. Welcome home. This is another episode of Talking CRM with Jeff and Davis. I shouldn't laugh with my own opening remarks. It's just nonsense, really. But anyway, how are you?
I'm very well, David. It's always good to be back with you. It's always fantastic to be talking CRM with somebody as enthusiastic about the product as I am. And I think we've got some fairly hot news for you. Although we can't talk details because we haven't yet reported things like financial figures. So anything that we say here has to be kept in mind that we can't actually...
Exactly. So we've rolled into our new financial year as ever, so it seems to come around faster and faster, but I think that's just about our age more than anything else.
Yes, I think we're just getting old, David.
We are. So as Jeff says, we can't release specific financial numbers, but suffice it to say, here in CRM HQ, the throbbing heart of CRM, we're very pleased with our performance in the last financial year. We've had, well, quite the spike in new customers. That is, people who are adding CRM either as a standalone product in their organization or on top of their accounting systems. And it does speak, doesn't it, Jeff, to our oft-discussed conversation here and elsewhere about the business benefits of adding CRM, linking front office, back office, those sorts of things, data, transactions, processes, and how it improves the management of marketing, sales, and service processes, particularly in a world where remote working has been working has been forced upon many companies, and then over time has become, well, the new way of working, right?
And I think it is, you've hit the nail on the head. The impact of COVID has continued with a lot of businesses. We have seen it roll through and essentially revolutionize the way in which people deliver the human element of service to customers, whether that's actually the front office contact for a sales inquiry or whether that is actually the customer service post-sales processes. And people have wanted to be able to, with a distributed workforce, to be able to provide a greater supervisory and operational control layer with workflow, with
I like all those words you got out in one go. Very good.
Yes, I know. I can actually say some words coherent in a coherent string occasionally, David.
You're much more coherent here than you are on the podcast, which is my editing nightmare when we do the podcast together.
Shush. Don't frighten everyone away from us. You're being mean to me at the end, David. You're being mean to me.
So I know, look, putting back on the subject slightly, I know some of my colleagues elsewhere in the business, our colleagues, I should say, conducted a survey in April, June, May, something like that this year. And they looked at remote working, right? And they looked at this idea that what changes have been forced or taken up by these businesses. And in the survey, a full 63% of the customers were looking to work completely remotely or maybe in some sort of hybrid fashion. So it speaks very much and supports very much our thinking about this move to digitize and automate the front office as well as the account system together. And it doesn't matter whether you're in membership business, a business selling services, a business selling widgets. It's thinking about the processes between front and back office, from marketing through to selling, through to service, and then obviously invoicing, billing, those sorts of things, and how you join those processes up, how you get the data back and forward, and how you can use the CRM tools to make sense of that, to remove the blockages, to make data available, just generally make remote working more productive, right?
Yeah, and this trend or this move to remote working is permanent. It isn't going to go away. Sage itself has now passed. Said to everyone can return to the office whenever they want to, but essentially there's an awful lot of us who are still working around the world, working around remotely, and actually Sage has designed itself, and Sage CRM is one of the products that can be used to enable this, to allow people to be working wherever they need to be, wherever they happen to be, and continually to work. David and I have just come off a meeting with people all in the same time zone, but 3 separate countries, opposite ends of the Mediterranean. So it was absolutely stunning.
and the technology is just extraordinary. And so it's a trend we're hoping continues. So that's almost 2 years worth of COVID, depending on how you or where you put your marker, that we have been offering our services, CRM services, through. And the trend to automate, digitize continues. And I think, as Jeff just said there, it is essentially becoming the new way for many, many businesses, either in a hybrid or fully remote way. And that is only going to keep going in terms of provisioning software, provisioning data and process changes and things like that. And if, of course, we, particularly with our product, but generally within the company's move to being a SaaS offering, cloud offering company, we here in CRM are all about helping customers move their infrastructure, their technology infrastructure at their own speed, right? Whether that's hosting CRM, maybe on your own servers, but through remoting, you can make it available everywhere. Or maybe the CRM is hosted by the customer's reseller, their business partner, doing it on their servers, their infrastructure. It's all about making working remotely and digitizing the office much easier, much faster, much more simple for customers to consume wherever they happen to be sitting in whatever time zone they operate in, right?
Yeah, and actually, if we're drifting on into the idea of what's the message around simplification, what the message around cloud and working in the way that organizations want to be able to work, that probably starts to slip into some of the technical changes that we can actually say. We do talk about the roadmap on these vlogs. And that there is some news that we'll share in a moment about road mapping changes. But I think Sage is just in the process of announcing its new strategies, where we've had some initial meetings in terms of the vision, and we've been going on into thinking about, and we've got some internal kickoffs taking place later on in this month. But essentially what we can say is that Sage has announced restructuring inside the whole of the company. There is a renewed focus on simplicity and an acceleration into the cloud and a scaling up of anything to do with software as a service within the Sage. Now, for what that means to us, we're within Sage CRM Central, here we are in the HQ. We are absolutely delighted with this, as investment in Sage CRM has been confirmed, and there is such confidence in Sage, within Sage, in the agility and the skill and pace for our own development team to be able to deliver into the products. And I'll give you an insight into what some of the things are going to come into either the next release or into down the line, but we're certain that we're going to come into the product, is things like as to support the move to cloud and any way you want it, support on Sage CRM on Azure SQL. That's almost definite. That's going to be in the next version. But we've also been having conversations ranging from explorations around digital assistants, conversational AIs, having conversations around what to do with single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, and the implementation of Sage ID as a strategy. So these are all things that are now very much in our conversation, and around as well the Sage Business Partner Cloud as well. Yeah. So look out for these new bits of news around that.
Indeed. Talking about the financial year we've just been through, I know you do a lot of the work in terms of education materials and enablement materials for the products as they come to market. So we've released 2021 R1 and R2 in the last financial year, right? So what have we delivered in terms of supporting material?
Well, I make things happen, but I don't actually necessarily do everything myself, but we make things happen. We've delivered for your viewing pleasure and reading pleasure in the last financial year. We've delivered 40 videos, up short topic videos up onto the Sage support and customer support and training YouTube channel. I think David you'll shove a link, won't you, so people can find that. And good. We've also on Sage City revised and edited and produced over 100 blogs, and that's And that's contributors from Australia, South Africa, all over the world, writing again about Sage CRM and writing about its technology and delivering. So it's a very, very hot topic still. And there's loads of new resources on the Partner Hub, loads of short little sting videos to help our partners advertise the product and disrupt traditional businesses thinking, and to place CRM very firmly in front of our customers' eyes.
Excellent, excellent. So we've done some little changes on the community as well. I know we've been on developer.sagecrm.com, and indeed our conversation this afternoon was for someone who hadn't realized we had quite the range of development APIs available, which was always good to educate internally, I think.
It's always a good thing to point out that Sage CRM is firmly bang center a modern web-based product with REST APIs and anything that you want to be able to control data and the metadata and do intelligent inquiry about the business rules within the system. So we have got we've delivered a lot of changes to give our developers complete control over the user interface, to have complete control over the business logic as well. So lots and lots of good things that we've been announcing and doing. And there is one change, I should say, before we press on, because I think I want to talk about some of the exam changes that we've made. Yeah. I should point out, we're in October, and that means we're no longer in September. And something terrible happens on the 30th of September every year, because that's our financial year, and that means it's a day in which things drop out of support.
Yes.
So we no longer got 2018 R1, 2018 R2, 2018 R3. They're no longer in support. It won't stop working. So if you're a customer and you're using those, they will not stop working. But it is important for you to consider to upgrade, because we do make sure all of our all the software and things, as we do the security audits, etc., like that, and as technology starts to change, then it's important to keep going on that.
And so you will have updated, I'm guessing, the resources on the community to have those things disappear, so that people go, oh.
Increasingly, yeah. There are still a few articles which mention 2018. It's a bit like whack-a-mole, having to go through the community resources and get rid of those. And we've also got, I should say, as part of our update of material, is because we've released 2021 R2, and because the community, this is community.sagecrm.com, is really still very much focused on the e-learning and the short video resources that people want to access in order to learn and support their learning in Sage CRM. We've updated all of the exams to support 2021 R1, and there is a differential exam for 2021 R2 as well. So you can test yourself and prove that you are, in fact, the guru of Sage CRM.
I have to do it again. You love it when I do this, don't you? Sometimes I don't get exactly the 100% you're expecting of me, right?
You have to get it right, David. You have to get it right.
Okay. Point taken. All right. That'll give me a little task for tomorrow. Anything else you'd like to say, or have we reached a notion?
No, we haven't. There's more. There's more. Okay. Because one of the things that we keep being asked about, David, is, do you have a roadmap?
Oh yeah.
Do you have a roadmap? David, do you have a roadmap?
Of course, yeah.
Do you have a roadmap for Sage CRM? Are we going to make this publicly available?
I'm thinking the answer is probably yes.
The answer is probably yes. It's absolutely definitely yes. It's going to be in the context of, just like our knowledge base is managed essentially in the context of the North American system. In the case of our roadmap, we're going to be embedding the core feature roadmaps into the Sage 200 roadmap site, so we'll be publicizing that and placing a link so it's globally available. But it does mean it will have what we've done, what we've delivered, and it was what's coming. And so it's basically telling people in a way to be able to look at how our roadmap is shaping up, and with confidence, much more increasing confidence of being able to say, this is hot in the product and it's coming to you.
Yeah. So in the past, we do that usually through internal briefings and then rely on local teams to push that out. But what we're doing differently is making it more obviously publicly available, right?
And this is all part of this effort within Sage to simplify, to be able to accelerate, and to be able to clarify as well.
Yeah, very good. All right. Always a pleasure, Mr. Richards. I thank you for coming along.
It's always good. It's amazing what I learned from you, and you actually learned stuff from me as well. So this is all good. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. We'll say goodbye for now. Ta-ra, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.